Thank you so much for joining us today. On behalf of Hispanics in Philanthropy, this is Michael Gonzalez. I'm very excited to kick off this year's Next Generation Latino Philanthropy Leadership Program. And before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody for the overwhelming interest in attending HIP's Leadership Conference and HIP Giver Gala this year, as well as diving right into the discussion forum on Wigio, even long before the program had formally started. So I want to just thank you all for your engagement and for your excitement with the program. I would also like to note that we will be recording this webinar as well as all others, and I'll be sure to disseminate that to everyone this afternoon, as well as posting it to Wigio. So with that being said, please allow me to give a warm welcome to Toti Caravid, who will be delivering and facilitating the first two sets of our webinars around personal leadership. She is a multicultural marketing and communications strategist with vast experience both domestically and internationally. She is also a best-selling author, speaker, trainer, certified coach, among many other things on her very impressive resume. For the purpose of today's webinar, she'll be wearing the hat of President and CEO of You Fulfilled, which is a coaching and leadership development company that focuses on helping top performers, such as yourselves, lead better teams and companies through self-awareness and emotional intelligence, ensuring deep thought and reflection around values. This process allows leaders to discover their unique personal brands and how to authentically project themselves to the world, which in turn allows for a more balanced, innovative, and ultimately productive work life. So without further ado, Toti, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Michael. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Identity and Leadership webinar. It is so exciting to be here. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to share some thoughts on how to get the most out of the NGEN program and this webinar. First of all, I want to say this program requires you to be open to your possibilities, to really understanding who you think you are versus who you really are, and to seek to understand within you what is your place in the world. Second, it is about your commitment to growth and participation, which in this case requires both that you dive into the information that we're sharing with you in each class and also to complete the exercises. Why? Because we only have 45 minutes for each class, and that time is intended to spark a transformational journey in you that we hope you will make happen outside of class over the course of the next few months. So it is about being inspired to go further, not only by doing the exercises, but also by going deeper with some of the articles and book recommendations that we will be giving you later. Third, it is about community. It's about supporting each other through your growth. So I am hoping that you actively engage with both me and each other via our chat. You can do questions, you can just talk to each other, just share what you're going through. Magic happens really when a group of people get together with a shared commitment. And lastly, take advantage of the Q&A session that we will be having on March 31st. Have your questions ready then, or even better, you can send the questions ahead of time, and that way we will make sure that yours will be answered. Now, since we are all spread out all over the US, let's get ourselves grounded. So let's take a minute. Please black out all of the distractions. Close any windows that you're working on, and maybe even turn your computer away from you for just a couple of minutes. I would love for you to just give yourself the gift of focusing on you and on your growth for the next 45 minutes. To get grounded, we're going to do a simple breathing exercise that is designed to put us into a very open and receptive state. So what I would like you to do is to sit wherever you are with both feet on the floor, and hopefully you are able to close your eyes if you can. If not, you can do it with your eyes open. And I want you to place one hand over your heart. Just by having your hand over your heart, you are stimulating the flow of a chemical called oxytocin, which is that feel-good chemical that we have when we feel loved. And now I just want you to do really deep breaths in and out of your heart. So as if you were breathing really from your heart. So you are inhaling into your heart, and you are exhaling out of your heart. One more time. You are inhaling into your heart, and you exhale out of your heart. Keep breathing. You probably are noticing that your breath is quieting down. It is getting slower, and it's probably getting deeper. You may even be feeling some sensation around your heart. Some people feel warmth. Some people feel a feeling of expansion. And I want you to inhale one more time. Breathing in. Breathing in appreciation. And then exhale. And as you do this last one, breathe in love for yourself. And as you exhale, you can slowly open your eyes. And you can take your hand away from your heart. And just notice how you feel in your body right now. You are probably feeling deeper appreciation for yourself. And I want you to also feel your connection to everyone else on the call. There are 55 participants in this program who are connected, listening to the same message. And everyone has really the same ultimate intention, which is to grow into more effective and inspiring leaders. That is our collective intention. So we're here supercharging that, and also our ability to love ourselves and to be guided from within, from our intuition. All right. Well, today is all about understanding the type of leader that you are, and also the type of leader that you can become. I believe that there are no coincidences in life. You are each supposed to be here because life is calling you to do something even bigger than all of that you have already accomplished in your careers. Also, I am supposed to be here because I am to share with you my own experience and learnings and save you, I hope, from making the same mistakes, and also share how you can go into higher levels of leadership. I want to begin by sharing then why helping people find their true identity and their own unique leadership style, and also helping people reach unexpected levels of growth has become my life passion. I had a really wonderful career during the 10 years that I spent in corporate America. I got to do international marketing around Latin America, Europe, Asia. I got to experience the financial and title rewards that came with high-level positions. And when I was pregnant with my second son, I left the corporate world and opened my own marketing agency. Again, I worked really hard and I found a lot of success, and I was able to grow our company to 7 figures. So my resume of accomplishments looked very impressive. I got to participate in things and see places I never thought possible. I was interviewed, I was asked to share my life and success many times, and even got a number of awards and recognitions throughout the years. Little by little, all of that fed my ego and made me believe I was a big deal. Basically, I was just full of it. So the universe had to give me a lesson to help me get grounded. That's when wake-up call number 1 happened. From a urinary tract infection that I chose to not pay attention because I was too busy doing an executive program at Harvard, I ended up septic with my blood completely infected. And by the time I got to Denver, 10 days later, I was septic. I was in a really bad shape. My organs were giving up. I spent about 10 days in the intensive care unit, dying really because they couldn't figure out what was the right antibiotic to give me. And I was confronting day by day the reality of death. Luckily, I was able to survive that because the percentage of people that survive being septic is extremely low. So this experience made me conscious. It made me promise many things that I saw I was doing wrong. I promised myself I was going to change my life. I was going to appreciate my children. I was going to be a more loving wife. I was going to value the people around me more. I was not going to work so hard, etc., etc., etc. I really meant to keep those promises. But the moment I got well enough to go back to work, that's exactly what I did. I went back. And my company was doing so well, and it was demanding so much of me that it just little by little took me back to my old habits. I was not having anyone helping me. No, I was not having a coach. I did have a psychologist, but I couldn't really get to meet those promises that I have made. So after that higher position, so after that, I was just going for more goals, larger goals. I was going for really just more of the same old, reaching more success. So something happened though, and it's that I was not feeling happy. So like versus in the past when I was in corporate America and life was really fulfilling, and you know, those first 5 years of my company was also very fulfilling, then now it wasn't fulfilling anymore. And I couldn't understand why I was so unhappy when really it looked from the outside that I had a very full life, that I had a great career, and I had great financial success. I had a smart and handsome husband. I had 3 beautiful kids. So what was the problem? I kept asking myself. Well, I thought, well, maybe it's because I am not putting big enough goals ahead of me. And so I did just that, put higher goals and work like crazy to reach them. But really, even when I got them, that happiness only lasted a little bit. So the universe had to come to my rescue again. And this is wake-up call number 2. My husband and I had a terrible, terrible car crash. And this is another very miracle, huge miracle, to be living after that accident. Yes, I had a fissured neck and some broken bones and bruises, but we were alive. And this time, surviving this near-death experience really got my attention. It made me take inventory of my life. Sadly, I did not like what I saw. I had been so very focused on reaching goals without thinking of the type of impact I was having on the people I cared about the most, and woke up to see that I had turned into a very mediocre leader to my employees and my community. And I felt heartbroken really to understand that I had been such poorly mother, a very average wife, friend, daughter, sister, and I was already being so for a number of years. I was totally drained, I was burnt out, and I was unhappy. So I went to look for help and was sent into some amazing life and business coaches that after a long period of reflection and self-examination helped me understand how asleep I have been in life and the consequences that my lack of consciousness had in not only in me, but also in those that I cared about the most in the world. Simply, they opened my eyes to help me understand the unfortunate truth that I had been living life on autopilot and had, for a number of years, been living up to society's and to my mother's dreams of and ideas of what success was, not my ideas. So I set on to find myself. I wanted to discover what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to change how I was experiencing life, and I wanted to find a way to become a better leader to my team, and I wanted to find a way to love and to leave a more impactful mark during the time that I still had in my life. So I got several coaches, and they helped me transform my life. I began seeing a positive change in all areas. So as I was changing myself, all the other areas in my life started changing. It was very miraculous to see the effect transformation had made just not in the way that I was experiencing life, but how people were responding to me. It was hard and humbling, really, to take responsibility for all the mistakes that I was then finally able to see that I had been making, and to try to get back to build good relationships with many people that I have not been very nice to. But you know what? when you do it from the bottom of your heart, people that really love you are resilient. And after a while, all of my important relationships turn back to positive experiences. That is when I became passionately determined to become a better leader to my team, personally and professionally. And that's how I found my purpose. That's why I now dedicate my life to help other people find themselves and to grow into their full potential so that they can create lives worth living. That is why I am thrilled to have the opportunity to be here with you today, opening your eyes to the importance of being true to yourself in how you live your life personally and professionally. And with that, I hope saving you also from having to go through all those painful wake-up calls and experiences. If you make conscious decisions, you will not deviate from your path. So where are we and where are we going? Our departure point into this journey is knowing that each of you were called to participate in this program, most likely because you were either searching for ways to grow your leadership style, or because you wanted to reach higher leadership levels, or because you can't wait to make a larger impact and or leave a more impactful legacy. We are therefore beginning the beautiful journey of awakening and self-discovery, of discovering the truth of what can make each of us better leaders. So let's take a deeper look at what makes us better leaders by recognizing this key distinction first. Leadership and position are two different things. Yeah, I know I used to think otherwise, but now I know better. And I know that holding a certain title does not make me or you an instant leader. Because even people without a high-level title can exert influence on others. So really, being a leader is simply the one that has the ability to influence other people. For decades, leaders across industries dove into leadership books and programs that promise them that if they learn certain skills, they will become better leaders. That leaders show us different ways on how to become more effective, more productive, more efficient, better organized, and even try to convert us supposedly into great multitaskers. I too, for many, many years, was a great student of all of these books and authors. But after all those years of deep transformation, I started seeing that these books from a different perspective. Let me share. I understood that many of those things do work for millions of leaders. All those lessons made sense and they contributed to many, many people's great success. However, I also understood that for some of those lessons were not helpful for some types of individuals. Perhaps there were individuals who pressured themselves to learn some of those skills to better fit into a certain position that they have gotten after being promoted. And then if they couldn't really get to learn or to perform or what they were trying to learn, they probably got frustrated. Let's face it, each of us has a different set of talents and personalities and styles of work. We are all different. Therefore, it makes sense that some of those learnings that could be extremely helpful for some people are not for others. There's not one blanket rule that could naturally apply to everyone. Now, we are all learners. Yeah, and it is only natural and also beneficial to see behaviors in some people, leaders, bosses, friends, colleagues that we respect and see that there are some things that we want to learn and emulate. That is all good. But what happens when we can't learn a certain way of behaving or managing or leading? We have to compensate it with another behavior. And that's all okay. The problem only arises when the leader wants or feels the need to fake their way. And then what happens is that they end up losing trust. People can smell that they're not being authentic. And so they will get more frustrated. People will not respond to them better. They will get more resentful. And then they will turn into unconsciously, because they are under stress, you will start seeing stress behaviors. So in other words, you will see people get frustrated and they overcompensate to hide their weaknesses. So they will use unproductive behaviors such as they can become controlling or they can become demanding. They will want their employees to really meet the impossible in the impossible amount of time as well. They will show lack of integrity. They will either not communicate or communicate very poorly. They can become arrogant, egotistic, defensive. Yes, I do have to admit that I was using some of those unproductive behaviors with my team. But my intention was benign. All I wanted was to lead a very profitable organization. And I imagine that sometimes those leaders that you have had in your life that have not been as nice, they perhaps had benign reasons for doing what they were doing. But the reality is that we do this when we don't know who we are or why we are pursuing certain goals. So I did fall into that trap of wanting to win for the sake of winning, wanting to have success for the sake of success. I did not have a really good reason behind it. So it is not that any of the advice found in these leadership books that we saw in the slide, a couple of slides before, it's not that the advice is wrong. We just need to be aware that as leaders, we won't be able to master every one of those behaviors. But there is a way for us to really get the same result. All we have to do is just understand ourselves. There are many ways to get to Rome, right? In leadership, there is also many ways to get to the same result. We just need to find the skills that best fit our personalities and those that would allow us to arrive to the same end. Now, this means that we need to truly know ourselves, because recognizing our strengths and our weaknesses and knowing which skills we need to work on is the only way that we will know what we need to work on. So I'm sure that all of you will remember the financial crisis we had some years ago. And what happened after that financial crisis that we had in Copa America is that the business community recognized that a different type of leadership was needed. That is how authentic leadership became the gold standard of leadership. To understand authentic leadership, we must start with understanding how authenticity relates to leadership. In fact, you probably recognize this man, but this is Bill George. He's the former CEO of Medtronic. And he is known in the business community for making authentic leadership popular. He came up with a book back in 2003 called Authentic Leadership. He also designed a model for companies to follow if they wanted to have authentic leaders and have that type of business. And he made the case that we needed a new type of leader and not just new laws to bring us out of the corporate crisis. And he also demonstrated how leaders of mission-driven companies create far greater shareholder value than financially oriented companies. So I became passionate about finding more leaders who were authentic leaders and who built this type of companies like Bill George had mentioned in that book. And I found, we have so many fantastic leaders in our country. We're very lucky. And many of these leaders have also written books that we can learn from. And we can see the examples. Their employees, their companies, their financial success talks a great story about leaders who are authentic leaders. And I was able to see the difference in the organizations these type of leaders were running. They were not only profitable, but they were different. John Mackey, for example, the former CEO he's still the CEO, he is soon to not be, of Whole Foods. He drew the distinction between leaders who are authentic and not, and I think there is no one better than him to really give us this message. So let's listen to this video for a second.
one of the things that people want from their leadership is they want authenticity. They want real people to be there. Real people are vulnerable. They are imperfect. They sometimes make mistakes. And the authentic person is willing to admit that. They're willing to admit when they make mistakes or they made a bad judgment, and they're willing to ask for forgiveness. In a sense, that humanizes them. That increases trust. It doesn't diminish trust, because the people that you're interacting with, they're going to see you anyway. They're going to see your flaws. And if you lack enough self-awareness to see them yourself, or if you project out an image of perfection, you're not fooling the people within an organization that interact with you. They see you for who you are. And and they know that if you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, how can they really trust you? I would argue that they really can't trust you, because you're not actually trustworthy, because you're not actually showing up in the workplace as a full human being. You're showing up as an image, or as some type of role model that is fake. So authenticity, I think, is a very important quality that we have to encourage within our organizations. And as leaders, it's essential that we have authentic communication with people. It's very difficult, in my opinion, to create an ethos of trust where there's a lack of an ethos of authenticity. I think those are also very connected together. Well, just like individuals need to be authentic, leadership needs to be authentic, so does the organization need to be authentic. An organization reflects the collective desires and passions and ideals of the people that work there, and the people that the other stakeholders that interact with the business or the organization. So I think it's essential that the organization also be able to be authentic, and that it not lie to people, that it not be hypocritical. It's very difficult for you to create trust when you believe that the organization is covering its tracks, it's lying, it's not being authentic. How can you trust people if they lie to you? I mean, that's the fundamental essence here. We need to be authentic. We need to tell the truth. And that collectively, we need to do that as an entire organization needs to do that. We need to have a commitment to authentic communication organization-wise. And putting forth public relation media spin in any type of organizational context just breeds cynicism, and it breeds a lack of trust. And that'll bleed through the organization. It's hard to keep people together in an organization and with a feeling of trust if the organization is routinely misdirecting, misleading, deceiving, or lying to the larger world. So it's essential that the organization collectively, as well as the individuals within that organization, communicate authentically and that we tell the truth. Trust and deception are opposites.
I just love this man. He also has a fantastic book that I will send you on a list of additional resources. It's called Conscious Capitalism. You will love it. Now, let's take a look. Let's talk about what makes authentic leaders different. After researching all these people, I got some great findings. So let's take a look at what makes them different. They are self-aware. They are self-actualized individuals who really know themselves. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses. They really know their talents. They know their emotions. They are very, their EQ, emotional intelligence, is very, very high. They are completely real and genuine individuals. So they do not act one way in private or another way in public. You know how people say that you leave your personal problems and everything at the door when you enter the office? Well, no, authentic leaders understand that there is only one way to be, and that is to be your own person, their own authentic individual. They have a strong moral compass. and they base this compass on very clear values. So you see these leaders act consistently because you will know exactly how they're going to react because you will know their values. They always use them, personally and professionally. These leaders live on purpose. So not only they understand the mission, their personal mission, but they also make sure that they find companies to work for who allow them to fulfill their mission and who are aligned with their mission so that they can accomplish so as they work for them. They also are individuals who live balanced lives. They work hard, of course they do, but somehow they find the time to also do what they need to do to have extreme good well-being, to show up for their families, and to be there for the people that they care about the most. These individuals are also lifelong learners. They don't have a rigid view of themselves or of their leadership, and they understand that they need to continually grow, make the effort to just learn, read, take courses, programs, because they understand that self-awareness, it's an endless journey. And they get so much out of being self-actualized individuals that they know they need to keep working on that. They are also people who live intentionally, which means that they consciously inject intention into their daily actions. So they don't live in automatic like I used to, because they know that the very act of envisioning and connecting with their intention has as much value as the action steps that they will take to get or achieve any goal. Now, let's take a look at the characteristics that these type of individuals show on their leadership. So basically, how do they live differently? Now, I love this to share that these people live with their heart as well as with their mind. This is something that I keep repeating to my team and even to my children. Because people have to be this way. They have to show in any decision that they make or the policies that they establish in their organizations that they care about the people, that the people come first. There is obviously, they care about the financial side of the business, but you just have to care about both and never compromise one for the other. Now, these people, they also, something about their leadership that is also very unique is that they lead purpose-driven organizations. So they not only believe that they are driven by the mission of the organization, they make sure that their team, their customers, their vendors, and everybody, all the stakeholders, feel that their products and services have meaning. The next one, they lead by example. Words are cheap, but actions tell the story, right? They know that. They know that people only follow those who they trust. So they spend a lot of time not only fulfilling the promises they make, but building trust. Because they know that that's what gets their team enthusiastic, and that's how they get support from their subordinates. Authentic leaders are able to improve individual and team performance because they deliver, and they deliver on their promises. Okay, the next one. They lead relationships of value. So they build their business on a foundation of a strong relationship, both inside and outside the organization. So they do this because they want to genuinely connect with everybody who is a stakeholder, inside and out. They spend the time to connect with the employees just as much as they spend the time to connect with their customers. The next one, they lead powerfully creative teams. They keep each employee's key strengths and goals in mind when they are doing team assignments. So they know, because they know themselves, that they need to maximize people's talents, not just their own, but everybody else's. And that's how they create powerful and creative teams. All these teams then benefit the company, and then it allows the employee to feel that they are being recognized, they're being valued, and they're being rewarded. Okay, the next one, they need transparent communication. So they're very truthful, and they're direct in the way that they communicate with people. They do not want to deceive, or like Joe Mackey was saying in the video, they do not do PR spins. They don't dance around the issues because they know that transparency builds trust. The next one is that they lead balanced organizations. So we saw that one of the characteristics was that they lead balanced lives. Well, then when they are leading organizations, they also create companies that allow the employees to have balance in and off the job. They know, and they do this why? Well, because they know that when they have a healthy environment, an environment that has less stress, they have much higher productivity and they have much lower employee turnover. So now we know what makes a leader authentic. We know what's different about them. And we also know what makes a leader lead differently. So now I want you to, I want to explore the process. I want to teach you the process that we use to evolve leadership. Now, this is the process that I myself used many years ago when I wanted to become a better leader. And this is the process, the same process that I use with my clients, with my executive clients, as part of a 3-month program that they do, and they continuously report that doing this, and I really want to make sure that you do these steps. They report that this changed their lives. So I hope that this is a motivator for you to invest the time on the exercises that we're going to be giving you. Okay, so this is called the leadership clarity process. And the first thing that we need to do is to release your true identity. So what is this? This is what answers the question, who are you? If somebody was to ask, who are you? What will be your answer? I'm going to give you just a few seconds to think about that. Just take the first thing that comes to mind. Who are you? Well, the way most of us usually answer this question is not by answering our true identity, but with the way that we tend to describe a talent or a role. So people may say, I'm a leader, or I'm a musician, or I'm a manager, I'm a director, I'm a VP, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a spouse. And the thing is, those are roles that we play in life, but none of them reveal our true identity. We are not what we do, or the roles we play, or the way we look, or what has happened to us in life. Assuming such close identity with our work, role, or title, for example, is one of the biggest barriers for which people stay in positions that don't fulfill them any longer. And they stay there for a long time without being able to get out. So when you find out who you really are, and you understand your personal and leadership values, you may find out that you are in the wrong role or in the wrong organization. It's not that I want you to change organizations, but I really want for you to understand if you are in the right place. You will need that inner work to unveil your true identity and to reconnect with the truth of who you are and to honor it. Now, I imagine that some of you are thinking and wondering, how am I going to accomplish this? Well, never fear. We will be sending you some assignments that will take you through this process. Okay, step number 2. Release. No. Before I go into step number 2, this is the assignment I'm going to give you to fulfill that step number 1. So you're going to first, we're going to send you a link for a Strengths Finder personality test. So that will be the first part of the assignment for this first step. And the second part of the assignment for this for this step is to fulfill the worksheet number 1, which is the wheel of life. And you will be asked, you will have all the instructions in there, but you will be asked to rate yourself from 1 to 10 for each area of life, how you are doing today, and then think about what you wish was happening in that area. And I'm not going to go through what you need to do at this moment, but it is just important that when you answer these questions, that you are brutally honest with yourself. The results of this worksheet will be the guide that you will work on to lead you to a more fulfilled life. So this can truly allow you to see where your life is not looking like the one that you desire. And it might spark the question to finding the reason behind the decisions that you have made in the past, or the reasons that have kept you from really fulfilling your dream. So this is what gives you a little window into your core being. So please do answer these questions and go as deep as you can. By the way, you are going to get all that you need to this process via email. I imagine that Michael will be sending this tomorrow or in the next few days, so don't worry. Just all of the instructions will be in the worksheet. All right, now we can go to step number 2. Most people out there never really take the time to do this. Begin with vibrant goals in mind. Yes, we have all been in business and organizations, and we know how to create goals. But this is a different type of creating goals, the ones you are going to be asked to do. Because we start in business, but then we go deeper. Because what I want is for you to only create goals that are coming from your heart. And this process is going to take you to only deliver that. If you don't see, when people don't know what they need to do, when they don't have a destination in mind, how will they know that they have gotten where they needed to get if they don't know where they wanted to go? And if you're lucky enough to be there, to get there by luck, pure luck, how are you going to know that you are right? So to unlock the authentic leader in you, you will need to create your goals in a way that they are aligned to your bigger purpose. I call this intentional goals because it's intention that shows you that they are heart-centered. You have a reason that comes all the way from the bottom of your core. That inner motivation behind your core is what truly motivates you to achieve anything. Now, authentic leaders don't just leave the achievement of bigger aspirations to luck. They don't just think of something they want and believe that they can just get it by using positive thinking and visualization. They know that all of the things definitely do help, but they also know that they need to take action. So you will be taking action as well. Now, for the assignment, for this step number 2, you will have to complete several different steps on the worksheet number 2 as well. And you will have, again, all the instructions will be sent to you. But I want you to give yourself permission to dream. I want you to assume that everything is possible and don't hold back. Don't put limitations in front of you. I want for you to just listen to your soul and really get those big, big dreams out there. It is possible to fulfill them. Let's go to step number 3. The clarity process shows us that in number 3 is we're asked to find and live your purpose. To unlock your authentic leader within, we will need to be clear not only about what are your passions in life, but what moves you to get to the core to get there. So this answers your why. Why do you want to reach those goals? What is the difference that you want to make in the world? Living on purpose means that you are living true to who you are. What is more important to you is to do something that gets you excited, that even humbles you for the difference that you are making in the world. In other words, you want to do something that is giving you the reason for existing, for being here. Many people believe that finding one's purpose is something, it has to be something complicated, something huge. But really, it isn't. The reality is that your purpose is doing for other people something that turns you on. It's sharing some type of joyous expression of who you are in the world. It's doing something for someone that only you do it in that way. And then it is so well received on the other side. For example, my purpose is that I am a burning flame that lights the path for others. I am very clear that that is the reason why I am in the world. And that's why it excites me every single morning to just go to work and then help more people. All right, now the homework for the number 3, you're going to be asked to explain your why behind every single one of those goals that you asked. Now, you will have all the questions in your assignment, so I'm not going to go through that. But what we're looking for here is for you to find the reason that feels bigger than you. That reason that will not allow you to stop. Even if you have many barriers to get down, you will know that you need to keep going. Therefore, if you arrive at a point where you cannot find a good justification for a particular goal, then you may think about replacing that goal because it means that it did not come from your heart. You will have to know that clarity, and the clarity of purpose, not only of what you want to do, but the clarity of purpose as well, for being that authentic leader that you want to be. So some of you will, at the end of this exercise, may know what your purpose is, and some of you may not. But either way, what I can assure you is that following this exercise is going to get you closer to find out what is your purpose. And if you go deep, if you allow yourself to go deep enough, you will find the reason why you're here. Because we all know, it's like a layer, it's like an onion. We are peeling that onion, and we need to just get to the core of that onion that we have been layering for so many years by perhaps doing something like I did, following somebody else's ideas of what my life needed to be. So let's see if you too can get to the core of who you are. All right, step number 4. Create an environment for growth. So you may be asking, am I referring to the physical environment? Yes, I am. You do need to work in an orderly and pleasant place. Organization brings you really good energy and supports your clarity. But also, I want you to take a look at your emotional environment, as that's the one that we almost never keep in mind, and that's the one that makes even the biggest difference. So it is about being mindful of the people you let in your circle, the people that you spend time with, you share your life with, your dreams with. It's making sure that you have the right support to help you through the times when you need to overcome such challenges. So it's not that you're going to be clear and then life is not going to give you challenges. No, because those challenging times are also the only ones that help us grow. We need to learn the lessons. That's what we're here for. But you need to have a really good support system to make sure that you are able to overcome it. Now, for the homework for this particular part of the process, you can each take care of making the appropriate changes to your physical environment so that it reflects the experience you are looking for in life. But the exercises I'm going to give you for this step are designed to help you identify both the internal and external changes and roadblocks you will need to remove from your environment to be able to reach those goals. It's going to allow you to also find what you need to let go of internally. So there are barriers that are external, but there are barriers that are internal. There are beliefs, for example, that we have had since we were children that get in the way of us fulfilling or doing. And so you need to find them, and you will be prompt to do this in the exercise so that you can identify them and then hopefully be able to go through them. Okay, number 5 is the last step, and it is to release, I have I'm taking this one, sorry. So this one, you need to, the last one is to leave your, find the how are you going to be living your life and reaching your goal. So you need to intentionally decide what will be part of your journey to make it so special that will make it that no matter what happens, you know you're going to get through it and you're going to be loving your life so much. So if you remember, for example, one of my biggest downfalls was putting happiness off by thinking that all I had to do was work hard, work 24/7, and thinking that once I got to any of the big goals that I had put in front of me, that I will be happy. But you know what happened? I was missing my own life. So it's not about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey, right? Just like the saying says it is that. It's true. So think about it. It's about being more than doing. It's about being present in your life so you don't miss a moment of it. It's about being grateful for the big and the little things, and even for the difficult times, because those are the ones that teach you the biggest lessons. And it is about learning to enjoy every moment of the journey, finding joy in every single situation. All right. The homework for this is, for this part, I'm going to be asking you to list the actions that you are going to do for each of the goals that you have identified. And I want these actions, I want you to commit to perform these actions so that you can move these goals forward. This will be your action plan, but it's not like a regular action plan, because I want you to be doing this with intention. And I want you to enjoy doing every piece of it. Now, you may want to have your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, or someone at work, or a coach keep you honest, keep you moving forward. It is, it's easy to get back to old habits. So I want you to just keep in mind what you have discovered that you want to accomplish, and keep moving forward. Now, as you can see, this process is not complicated in as simple as it is, but it's not easy by any means, because it involves deep reflection and thinking about what really matters to you. That's where the complication comes, is that most of us don't like to go in and go deep and look at mistakes and look at, what have kept us from moving forward. But clarity is essential to your successful leadership. So I want you to just encourage you really to just follow this 9-step process and bring the clarity that you need to keep moving forward. Now, when you start working on this, you may work on it one day, and you may want to put it down and reflect on it, and then pick it back up, or a day or two later. Or some of you may just go at it and then complete the whole thing in a Sunday afternoon or something. But don't get discouraged if you sit down and all of a sudden something comes up that really doesn't allow you to keep forward. Fear usually gets in the way, and fear is only telling us that there might be something that doesn't go along with the way that you have been living your life. So don't be afraid of fear. Just tackle fear, thank fear for what it's doing to you, for what it's bringing up, and keep going. Keep going. All right. We will be sending all of now for the next steps. I want you to complete the exercises we're going to be sending. I want you to discover many things. As you do them, you may have some questions, so please share questions via the chat or send them to me via email, or keep them to just do them live on March 31st when we're going to have our next Q&A session. But whatever you do, make sure that you take action and that you do not have excuses. Don't let yourself have excuses for not doing what you need to do to move forward. And we have a couple of minutes for Q&A if someone has some questions that cannot wait until the 31st. And I know Michael is on the other side monitoring that. So Michael, you tell me, do we have questions?
Yeah, thank you so much, Doti, for getting us off to an absolutely great start. I know I thoroughly enjoyed your insights. This webinar was scheduled for an hour, so out of respect for all of your time as well as Doti's, let's go ahead and hold off on questions until the next time we meet on the 31st. And instead, let us turn to the WIGIO discussion board to kind of begin unpacking this fruitful presentation. And also, just to reiterate, I will be sending out both the recording of this webinar as well as the worksheet Doti referenced within the next day, so be on the lookout for that. So I wanted to just thank you all and look forward to seeing some rich discussion on the WIGIO discussion board and to our next meeting on Cesar Chavez Day on the 31st. So thank you all, and thank you again, Doti, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. A pleasure to be here with all of you.